So take what I say with a grain of salt. This is not backed by science and statistics. This is just an observation I've made. I've noticed that most ex-New Agers are more spiritual than Christians, many Christians. And the reason why is because they understand the quantum field. They understand the mechanics of spirituality. They understand the mechanics of the spiritual realm. So whenever they encounter Christ, it's an easy transition. They already understand how the Spirit works. They already understand how God speaks because they already are listening to other spiritual beings, right? And so the way that it works is all the same. They're just following the wrong spirits. They're just following, God's spiritual laws in a sense, but they're following them, outside of God's will. They're following a perverted version of them in many ways. And so the Christian, they're introduced to the do's and the don'ts before they're ever introduced to spirituality. They're introduced to the do this, don't do that, call him pastor, call him a prophet, they're introduced to all the rules. And so, but by the time they even get to encounter Jesus, you're so weighed down with the do's and the don'ts and the law that you don't even know how to engage these things. And so one of the things that drives me more nuts than anything is that many Christians cannot explain the spiritual mechanisms behind the written word. If you give a Christian the logos, the written word, they can't articulate what's happening behind the scenes. But if you go to spirituality circles and you go to, many New Agers, and there's a lot of Christians that can do this, don't get me wrong, but overall, a broad spectrum of it is that they'll be able to tell you what's actually happening. But a Christian won't. You go to a Christian and say, brother, I'm really worried. And you know what they'll do? They'll say, well, brother, the Bible says, do not worry. Do not be anxious for nothing, but with prayer and supplication. You know what I'm saying? That's what they'll do. And it's like, no way. Did you pray about it? What? Dog, are you serious right now? This is obvious, but they can't actually dive into, what is actually causing this worry? When you worry, this is what's happening in the spirit realm. They can't dive behind the word and pull out the esoteric meaning of what's going on in that logos. But in spirituality, in other spirituality circles, they understand how to explain these mechanisms more so than many Christians. And so that's why when you have an ex-New Ager come to Christ, they take off right out the gate. They get it and they're gone because they already understood the mechanisms. They already understand the realms of spirituality. But then Christians, they spend most of their life struggling with the most basic things. And it's because, unfortunately, I'm working on why. To get to a specific answer, why? I don't know what it is exactly that trips up people, but I know that's why ex-New Agers are more spiritual.